in the film, like, I don't understand why they did this, but maybe 10% of the film is in the past and 90% is in the present day.
What?
Whereas in the games, 90% of them are
Why
done
would they
in the
do that?
past.
What
I
they're
don't
doing,
know.
like-
I don't
Is
know.
it was
And
Alex?
three,
I'll take podcast for 500, please.
Podcast 500.
Yeah,
Is it Alex
500?
Tribeca? What's his
Alex
name?
Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
But the only time when anybody says Alex Trebek, the only thing I see in my mind is SNL when Will Ferrell was Alex Trebek.
What's that?
Have
the
you ever
guy
seen
in
those
the,
skits?
in the hot tub.
Oh my god!
The
Will
hot
Ferrell's
tub.
sketch as Alex Trebek is so funny.
I don't remember those.
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
gotta check them out after this.
I didn't grow up with this. No.
I watched clips as I've gotten older,
Yeah. Me
but for the most part, I'll just rewatch the same ones because I find a lot of the skits are just a bit too cringe for me.
Check out the Jeopardy ones. I think you'll like them.
They're all
Okay.
good ones, but just can't be asked anymore, dude.
Anyways, I'm Bjorn,
I'm Kieran.
I'm Mushav.
and this is.
The Underleveled Podcast. No, we can't. We get copyrighted.
Just John Cena pops up behind your shoulder.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Okay, dudes. Well, today is a bit closer to our normal record date, just for
True.
logistic. Hushev, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why are you flexing your chest?
Your pecs, dude.
I can see your
Dude,
titties bouncing, dude.
Sydney's gonna see
Stop,
this.
stop looking at me. Do your job.
Stop doing it. It's distracting.
Seriously, dude.
Regardless, how was your guys' week? We've saw each other pretty recently, but what's
Yeah,
up?
do you want to peel back the curtain and reveal why we're doing this?
Because I'm going away for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for warning us.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for taking us, actually.
First
Maybe
of
we
all,
wanted to go away for the weekend.
I think you should check yourself.
I don't wanna
We
go.
all know my parents don't. Wouldn't even dream of such a thing.
Well.
Especially my mom.
Oh
You
yeah.
know.
Your mom loves me.
Not based on your head
Well,
count. Too
Yeah.
true.
Or maybe she can
that's
invite.
a bleep. That's another bleep. But how's your guys' week been? It's only been, 4 or 5 days since we last chatted. Husha?
Yep. I've just been working and like semi-stressing myself out for the move this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big move.
Moving into
What?
your place?
What's? I'm not gonna ask you to dox yourself, but I was just about to.
What is your address?
Yeah,
What is your
give us
phone
your full
number?
address.
What is your maiden name?
That's
Okay.
exciting stuff, dude.
Yeah, I managed to secure myself a mini fridge because my roommate can only ship down the fridge in 2 weeks. So I was going to be living without a fridge for 2 weeks, but I managed to find a mini fridge.
Mini fridge, yeah.
From one of your friends
So
or
you-
online or...
From Girl at the Nest.
Okay.
You could just say one of your friends. I really... I wasn't
We're not
asking for
talking
much more
about
than that.
like a bird's nest, people. Like we're talking about like a house.
You really want to talk someone today.
A house whose area that it lives in.
Oh my god.
Which is
Okay.
around about. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say it. I could.
So that's your
That's so
week,
much fun.
kind of. You've
Yeah.
been working, trying to get stuff through
Scheduling,
for-
yeah, shipments. Shipments. Transport for stuff.
Shipments.
Okay, how much stuff do you actually have to bring down? Is it like 10
Not that-
boxes?
Not that much of just a lot of clothes,
Mm-hmm.
a couch,
Yeah.
and a bed which I bought, but they're gonna be shipping that, so that's not my problem.
Okay.
So
And
not
what
too
about
bad.
like your PlayStation, all that stuff already there?
Obviously, no.
Okay. One trip.
It should be. Everything should fit in my car, so I only need to do one trip, hopefully. But
Okay.
we'll see how things go. Yeah,
Okay.
You'll probably forget something and have to go back.
that's fine.
But
That's
what
been
happens.
my week. Logistics for moving.
Okay, and Kieran?
Yeah, I had a recovery week, just taking it easy. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long week. We went for a long walk.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I can't remember what my underleveled was.
I also am just asking about your week
Okay.
and not about your underlevel.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about my week.
Mm.
It's just a recovery week.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
just a bit burnt out.
You, Bjorn? How's your week?
Yeah, bit of a weird one. But just kind of been doing a bit of work. Nothing too crazy. I did put a lot of stress on myself about all these things that I had to do, and then ended up putting them off a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually something
I can
that
relate.
we've talked about a bit and kind of ties into your underleveled.
Yeah, it's kind of like some things that seem easy are difficult to just get up and do. So in my attempt to do the small things, it takes up a lot of my energy. So like getting up, brush teeth, shower, hygiene, all that stuff takes a huge toll on my fucking body, bro. Like not because I'm using the wrong soaps, but just in general, like it's hard to do things that should be easy. Motivate yourself to just like do things.
Can you give an example of like something that you've put off recently that once you did it was actually super simple?
So all I had to do this week was finalize a cover for my album EP artwork, whatever it's called, and all I had to do was basically print out a JPEG, or like literally save a JPEG out, put like the album name, which is going to be called Medicated Levitated. It's a pretty cool name, right? And then shout out, and then like it's such a simple thing, literally like just quick. It took me like maybe 10 minutes, but it took me the whole week. Like it took me until Tuesday, so it took me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday just to get started on it. Wednesday, the whole of Wednesday, I was obsessing over it, trying to make it perfect, which is impossible. And then eventually I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't do anything more to this. This is it. It's not really about the album cover. It's about the music, and that's what I decided. But it was stressful. And, you know, I put it off all I could have done it on Monday and got the stress off my mind because I was worrying about it all the way until Thursday. Or today. And then I also had the podcast stuff, which I did a shit ton of research for. Hopefully that works out. Normally doesn't. But like I could have done that on Tuesday, but I did it the night before. And I think that's just like a bad sort of ADHD coping mechanism thing I developed, where I'm just like, I'll do everything last minute when I'm scared shitless.
And what I've seen with my sibling is like they will oftentimes just put off a decision until it's kind of been made for them. Because I mean, I do the same. I don't think mine has anything to do with ADHD, but just general kind of, you don't necessarily have to do anything until you're forced into it.
So shit gets real.
Yeah. In which case, at the end of the day, if you turn in a project that took you one night to do instead of 4 weeks, if it turns out crappy, like you can't, you can just be like, oh, I didn't actually put all my effort into it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it seems easy, but starting is super difficult. Or just like sitting down and doing is hard. But you know, I do eventually do it. It just takes a while. I'd like to maybe make that process a bit more streamlined. Maybe to take the pressure off me.
Like how? Like, do you have any potential ways that could work?
Like watch less YouTube.
Okay, cutting out like coping mechanisms.
Yeah, but also maybe designating like times for work. I'm really bad at it, like scheduling stuff, but maybe like giving myself windows to work in, 2-hour windows or something. Maybe an hour.
When you sit down to do your work, do you have like a little routine to try to start like getting into the work groove?
Nah. Do you?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you do?
I play solitaire online, and I'm not allowed to start until I win a game.
Oh shit.
So sometimes I'm sitting there for 40 minutes before I finally start. But
dude, that's
as soon as I start, I'm like, yes, I've accomplished
I do a
something.
similar thing, except I just play games or like.
This is why I play solitaire, because it's just like
it's
a simple little
like
thing.
The difference of reading like a fantasy book, which I really enjoy, versus a non-fiction book, which is still enjoyable, but not so much so that I can spend 8 hours reading.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're doing, where like Hushaf will play solitaire, which is fun, but it's also not. It's not Hammerwatch 2. It's not Diablo.
Shit, yeah, it's not.
I don't have to like put,
Yeah.
you don't have to put like too much thinking into it. It's not like I'm trying to strategize. I'm just dragging one thing to the other.
I know, dude.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's a good thing I should develop, but I don't think playing a game will work for me. But that's okay.
Just try
I'll find
different
something
things
else.
and see if eventually you'll
I'm
stumble
more of
upon
like
something.
I'm more of a spontaneous worker. Like if I want to write a song, I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna write a song tomorrow. It'll take me like a week, and then I'll be depressed because I haven't written the song or something, and then I'll just be like, fuck it, I'll do it right now, and then I'll write it.
I always bring him up, but Brandon Sanderson. Who was it?
Sando.
Is it Brando Sando? It's an author. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
But he says at the end of the day, just sitting.
It's night.
Sorry? Oh, that's
Well,
such a shit joke, Rishabh. Such a doers.
Yeah, at
but
the end of the
it's
day,
kind of
that's-
like,
yeah.
the point is just to sit down every day, whether you actually do something or not. It's just to have
It's
that.
the routine, right? It's the-
Yeah.
So spontaneity is great,
Yeah.
but it helps even more if you're already at your desk when that spontaneity comes.
Yeah.
So it's also a balance. Like if you're miserable and you're like just stabbing your mat.
No, I'm
and-
not miserable. I just think I'm smart, and I'd rather do. No, I'm joking. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out.
I'm too intelligent
I'm
to
too
deal
smart.
with
No,
you
no, no, no.
mortals.
Tips Fedora.
I'm superior.
Nah, but like sometimes it's hard to start something when you have a lot of time to do it. Like if you have a long time, like 4 weeks to do something, it's so hard to start it in the first week, right? That's what I'm describing. That's my underleveled.
Okay.
And that's something that hopefully this year I can work on. Yeah.
If it
Well,
makes
I
you
already
feel
am
any
trying.
better, like it's also, I think everyone
Yeah.
struggles with this.
Yeah.
And talking to more people will always, even me, I do work and I do jobs, and like with this podcast, there's stuff I have to do. If I just put in an hour a day on all these different things, I'd be fine. But I tend to leave it
that's
to
what
the
that's
last
what it
moment.
is.
And it is like super complicated, and I think some people like everyone will have a different reason, but you'll find people with the same reason as yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, it sucks, but what are you gonna do?
You're gonna work in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm working.
But yeah, so that's the Underleveled. I'm trying to think, what was our actual topics about today? So this past week, there was some news about Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. Yeah, what was the news? And I actually haven't really watched any like trailers or anything. So if you could fill me in.
Have you seen any of the early release art? Not art, but photo shoots kind of thing.
I remember seeing one Netflix promotional image
Yeah.
of Aang and Appa in a snowy landscape, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, anyway, so like a lot of what I've seen visually from the live action avatars look amazing. It looks like it's being really faithful to.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet,
Okay.
no. But they've slowly been releasing, some clips, the pre-trailer, the teaser trailer
Okay.
type things.
I haven't seen any.
Also a trailer, but everything looks like really good. Like they're really putting their whole Netflix OC into it being
Oh.
into it
Should we bleep
being
that?
pretty faithful, but visually, because this week there was news. Sokka's the actor playing Sokka came out and said that there's not a lot of sexism in the live action show. That Sokka's sexism has been like toned down by a lot.
That's what the actor said.
This is what the actor said, and I think Katara was with him also, and she's like, yeah, we kind of toned all of that down. So for the longest time, I've been wondering, why did the original creators of Avatar, they left the show. They're no longer working on it, and they said there were some creative differences. But and I was thinking, but everything I've seen so far, it looks like visually again, it looks very like accurate. But then they come out with a statement like this, and I'll be like, okay, I see. Where if you've watched we've all watched Avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've
So-
watched the original anime, right?
Cartoon
Fuck.
anime.
You're gonna start an argument, dude.
So the very start of the first episode, the only reason Katara finds Aang is because Sokka made him mad by being really sexist,
Oh, okay.
and the entire a lot of Sokka's
This is when they
early
find him in the ice.
a lot of Sokka's early character is him being sexist because the Water Tribe is a very sexist tribe, both north and south.
Literally, when Katara goes to get trained in the north, she gets denied.
Yeah, she's like,
because
you're a woman.
You're a woman.
A woman
Also,
only
so
heal.
Just literally the opening scene is Katara and Sokka in a boat fishing on a small fishing trip, and I'm trying to think. Sokka's trying to spear a fish.
Yeah.
And then Katara starts water bending, and then something happens. Sokka gets splashed with water, and then he starts going off about you women.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you,
shit.
this is a problem with women.
Yeah.
And then Katara gets mad, cracks an iceberg, and Aang's inside.
So Sokka being sexist is so important to his character because throughout the first, especially in the first scene, he gets humbled as he
Yeah,
learns.
Suki. Dude.
Yeah, as he learns, like, oh,
So, yeah, it's
women
part of his
are
character.
women are just as capable as men, if not more. As the first time he gets really humbled is when he meets his girlfriend,
Yeah. The ninja.
Suki. Yeah,
Yeah.
from she's one of the Kyoshi warriors.
Not the moon.
Not the
Not the moon.
Not
That's
to
rough,
be
buddy.
confused.
But so them removing a lot of the sexism from the show and the sexism from Sokka's character does such a disservice not only to him but also to the women in the series, because Toph, Katara, June, Suki,
Yue.
yeah, all of them like rising like kind of like above their station and doing things that are usually not expected by women, like really goes against the status quo and shows, you know, well, the kids at the time watching, like, you know, women are just as capable as men. And now
So-
by them getting rid of that, that's like, now
What
what?
is-
So it's undermining the other characters as well.
Well, in
Yeah.
a sense, but it's also like
Toph,
Sokka's
did I say Toph's name? I hope I did.
probably Sokka's character arc is him, or part of it is him becoming, well, more of a human being and treating women with respect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like that's part of his character arc.
And now that's not there anymore. It's
And
Yeah.
that's not there. What happens if they get to the Northern Water Tribe? First of all, it's worth clarifying. We are not in support of
No.
Yeah, I was
misogyny.
about to say.
We are in support of good
We
character,
disavow it.
of good character,
Development.
development.
Character arc.
And, you know, you should, when you create a character, you should give them flaws, and this is one of his flaws. Now, what are you going to do with this character now?
Is it maybe?
He's gonna be the funny guy. That's it.
He's still going to be the funny guy, I'm
Oh,
sure.
dude, that's gonna be so one-dimensional.
Yeah, so they're gonna get
That's
to
what
like
they've
the Northern Water Tribe, and they're like, Katara's like, can I learn how to waterbend? Like, you know, your name is stupid. It's Katara. We're okay with women, but your
Katara.
name, ew.
We don't teach people whose names begin with a K, dude.
Whoa.
Yo, it's insane. The original show was like they did this and it was okay for kids,
Yeah.
but they're like, now they make it for a mature
It's
audience. They're like,
different times, different
nah,
times.
maybe it's not even different times. Like,
Yeah.
what
I
are
think
they
it's
like? What are you
the-
trying to accomplish by not making him sexist?
It's also, it
It's
doesn't,
avoiding controversy as well. It's avoiding
Which-
the potential like
like,
backlash.
it's not like he wasn't, I don't know, how do you say this? Like, he wasn't, or he was caught out and he was made to feel ashamed of being a misogynist.
And
or
he-
having, and
so he gets
grew.
called out. in
So
the
he gets
show.
called out for it.
Grows as a person.
So there's no, it's not like in the original show they were like, misogyny is good.
Yeah, we're just promoting
Well, I mean, 3 out of the 4 nations are like, yay, like, boo woman. And then the Fire Nation are surprised, like, no, women are just as capable.
They do lightning.
No,
In the Fire Nation.
Yeah,
I know
but
that
in the Fire Nation, they're the only army who allow women in, and everybody respects Azula. Like nobody, like she never had to like be like, I don't want to be a pretty little princess. She was always just like, I want to be a fighter, and everyone's like, cool, yeah, you can do that. That's all right in the Fire Nation. That's the one thing the Fire Nation got right.
That's crazy.
So the Fire Nation, the good guys.
In one way, yeah. In everything else, no.
Isn't that the whole point of the Avatar show though? They like kind of humanized everyone. Like some people were bad, but then is it Ozai, right? That's Zuko's dad. Ozai was humanized in the fact that his father was also just, it taught about what's legacy and the legacy of trauma and stuff.
Was it Sozin? Yeah, that's
And
Sozin
then
was
yeah.
the
His
grand,
uncle
Yeah.
is like
yeah, exactly.
the opposite of that.
Right, so you have both good and bad in everyone. Literally, oh
Uncle
my gosh,
Iroh
that's
is
the
the
part.
good.
That's the point of the show. Sorry.
No, Uncle Iroh is the best, dude.
Uncle
Best
Iroh is the
character in the
best.
show. Hands down.
But yeah, okay, so
And the
bit worrying.
Bloodbender lady.
The
She's
bloodbender.
OP, dude.
Well, she's also,
An old lady.
she didn't deal with her trauma, and now she takes it out on innocent
Yeah, but
civilians.
bloodbending is fucking cool as shit.
Bloodbending is very scary. I think you might have missed the point of
I know.
the
The episode is harrowing. But
Yeah, no.
bloodbending is cool.
She's also
If you
just
think,
attacking civilians.
check out Gen V if you think bloodbending is cool.
Bloodbending
Gen
is sick.
V.
Gen V, it's
Is it a Spanish show?
no, it's a spin-off of The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
It follows a group of superheroes go to like superhero university.
Oh, I've seen a lot of trailers for it, but I don't know.
Very good.
Superhero University.
Yeah.
Like that fucking what's that old movie? with,
Sky High.
Sky High.
Dude,
Oh,
high
such a
school,
good film.
Oh, that's high
Such
school.
Such a good
But
film.
Fucking dude, what a film! The powers in that, the best.
Also-
One dude turns into.
You
slime.
can't not tell me that the creator of My Hero saw that and I was like, I'm gonna turn that to anime.
I do find it so weird that the main character, the whole point was like, oh, it doesn't matter what your superpowers are, like you can still be super.
Yeah, but he's got the
And then
most.
he
But then he's,
Or-
but then it's like, it happens so often in anime and like just TV shows where someone gets told, oh, you aren't as good as these other humans because you don't have this trait, right? This weird God-given trait. But so the point of the show would be like, oh, but you
overcome
Yeah.
that.
You overcome that regardless. But so many shows are just like, yeah, you can have the trait. Now you're like a human being.
It's like
And
you've got like
what?
super strength, you've got flying, you've got freaking crazy powers, speed, super speed, and then you've got a guy that like can light himself up.
I
Pretty cool
will
power.
just.
And you're just kind
A
of like,
guy
that's
that can
practical.
turn himself into a puddle.
Yeah, like it's is it practical? Well,
I will never not be upset that in Sky High, War and Peace and the girl were not the end game, and
Oh.
they were such a good couple.
Dude,
Oh,
banging
her
movie,
superpower
banging
with
movie.
plants and stuff is so cool.
That's cool, dude.
It's
That's
such a
OP,
sick
dude.
superpower.
OP.
Poison Ivy, basically.
Unreal. But
Sure.
sorry,
I'll
pulling
go on
us
a
back
tangent,
into our actual
Well, we are
main
talking about
topic.
movies.
Oh, too true. So our main topic for today is going to be all about video game movies.
yeah.
I'm sure we all have a lot of big opinions. What is the most
What?
recent video game movie, by the way?
Is it the Super Mario Brothers?
It's got to be one
Might
of the
be.
bigger ones. for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely
Okay.
the last one that came out.
So
I haven't seen it, guys. I don't think I'm going to. but
It's
Really?
there's
It's really good.
I don't know, dude.
there's such a big conversation to be had about video game films. But first, I do want to get into our favorites, or not even our favorites, but like something we liked or thought we might like, and were either disappointed or just like died afterwards because it was so bad.
Got you.
Starting with let's start with you, Kieran.
Okay,
I want to hear
start with
all
me.
about triangle boobs.
Okay, you ready? I am doing a presentation today, guys. No. So I chose the movie Lara Croft Tomb Raider, which is the original Tomb Raider movie
The one with Angelina Jolie.
with Angelina Jolie. Beautiful. Absolutely the best casting ever for a movie. And I'm going to basically just talk a bit about the movie and how it compares to the game a little bit. But I won't go too in depth, although I do have 11 pages.
11 pages.
Yeah, so I'm going to skip the first bit because that's all PlayStation 1 stuff.
Do I have time to make popcorn?
Hush time. Okay.
Gather round,
So
children. Let
essentially,
Grandpapa tell you something.
I'll do like a little recap of the movie. So we can start there. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for like, I don't know,
20 years.
20 years. You should
So
go watch it. It's on
spoilers, I
Netflix.
guess.
Yeah, spoilers for sure. So essentially, Lara Croft, okay, she inherits her father's mansion after he dies mysteriously. Okay, he leaves her a clock, a ticking clock, right, that she finds, and you know how she finds it? Her father visits her in her dream. Weird, right? Now where are we going? Mystical with this shit. We're getting mystical. Okay, so the movie is essentially about, this is the plot, believe it or not. The Illuminati are looking for an artifact that controls time. In order to get the
As
artifact,
they normally
they
do.
have to go to various different locations where they are hidden. Alright? They have to basically find these artifacts before the solar eclipse solstice thing, like all the planets align.
Okay.
And then they can access they can put the puzzle pieces together for this triangle of light, which is basically the artifact that they're trying to make, okay? So first of all, magic. So if you want to compare this to Indiana Jones, it's Indiana Jones with a woman and way more magic.
And guns.
And guns. And
Wait, Indiana Jones has guns.
No.
There's that
No,
famous...
no,
it does.
He does. There's a famous scene where he's
Yeah,
in
but
a
that
crowded...
was Harrison Ford who had a stomach bug that day and couldn't do the actual stunt.
Yeah, where he shoots the guy.
But then he just shoots
Yeah.
him.
And that's
No,
the
no.
only time he uses a
Basically,
gun.
Lara Croft is Tomb Raider. She's a badass. She can pretty much do anything, fight anyone. She super intelligent.
Full disclosure, guys.
Super
I'm so
smart.
sorry, Kieran.
This is bad.
I just realized...
She's not a Mary Sue.
No.
Oh, is that
I
where we're
just
going?
realized why she has the name Tomb Raider.
Yeah, because
Because
she's
she
a Tomb
raids
Raider.
tombs.
Haven't you
Raider,
heard that joke?
I barely know her.
Haven't you heard that joke?
I didn't realize it.
But hey, you know, it's an early 2000s film. It's filled with action. The fucking opening scene is her fighting a mechanical construct. Like a robot. You don't expect that in Tomb Raider, did you?
I didn't know there was any magical stuff.
So much
So is
magic.
it fully based on the first game, or is it a completely like separate
So
story?
obviously the game came out first. So it is based off of the game in the sense that the Illuminati are looking for this artifact, which was left behind by an ancient civilization in the game. This is in the game.
Okay.
And this ancient civilization was the one that got sunk under the sea.
Atlantis.
Atlantis, right? The people of Atlantis. In the game, basically, one of the leaders of Atlantis was like, I want to destroy all the humans. So how do I do that? I make a flesh army horror army thing, right? It's
Zombies.
very complicated. Zombies, undead. And so the entire plot of the first game is like you finding artifacts, and then eventually at the end you go into a alternate reality realm where there's like a flesh zombies and all kinds of shit down there, and you have to like destroy them.
This is so
Okay,
much more
I know.
magical than I expected.
And now the movie does a lot of magic as well. Like, for example, there's a fight scene between Lara Croft and freaking, what's his name? Is it Shiva? One of the Indian gods?
I don't
Got
think it was
6
like.
hands.
I think it was they just like based it off a general like
Okay,
deity. I don't
yeah.
think it was exactly one of my deities.
But essentially, it's like a statue that comes alive with magic.
Mhm.
Okay. So anyway, she's on the lookout for these artifacts because her father tells her, you need to destroy these artifacts, or the Illuminati are going to use it to like change time and fuck everything up. So she goes on adventures. Cool thing to note is the places she goes to are just like in the game. So in the game, you go to like jungle locations where there's dinosaurs, classic. You go to temples, Mayan temples. You go to pyramids. You go to Egypt. You go to Siberia. And in the movies, they go to Siberia. They go to Angkor Wat, I think, is a very famous temple that they shot at.
Malaysia, isn't it?
I think so. But essentially, the aesthetic of the game, even though it's like very PS1 textures, like we're talking old, it feels like they captured like the mystique of the environments. Like you feel like you're in a tomb. You feel like you're in a temple in like an ancient place.
Is this the
Inside
game
a
or the
pyramid. In the film and in the game.
Okay.
So I think they really got the aesthetic right. They did the casting perfect. I mean, Angelina Jolie, am I right? Sheesh. Whoa. What more can I say, guys?
That's somebody's mother.
That's
No,
someone's daughter.
She's beautiful and great casting. Like I said, she's just basically just like a badass. Like she's.
So if you had to like rate it just as a whole, the film, like standalone, the film, if you out of 10, if you had to rate it,
it's probably like a 8.
8?
Solid 8.
And then in terms of
For entertainment
faithfulness-
value.
For entertainment value, okay.
Yeah.
And as like faithfulness thing, you say
I'd say it's very faithful.
okay.
I'd say
Is the story the least faithful part?
no. I'd say the story is actually quite faithful without the aliens.
It's just Boruto.
Although
all
at
over
the end
again.
of the film, they do go into a time dimension. It's very
So
strange.
great. Dude, it's so wild.
And there's a really cool scene at the end of the movie where she to get out of the exploding temple or whatever at the end, she gets onto a set of dog sled, like a dog sled, right? And so the dogs, you got like husky dogs,
Yeah.
but there's no like thing to stand on, so she just surfs out on her shoes.
Yeah.
It's fucking badass. And then also, fun fact, the guy that would eventually play, what's his name? James Bond. He was one of the
Daniel Craig.
yeah, he's in it, like her love interest, and then the villain is basically just like your generic Illuminati villain guy, who wants to go back in time and do stuff with the Illuminati. Basically, I will say I don't want to take up too much more time, but it is a must watch. It's fucking sick. The combat is awesome. The fight scenes are really good.
If you
Super
weren't a
good.
fan of the game, would you still enjoy it?
Yeah, you would
Okay.
enjoy it more than the game.
For real?
Yeah, the game is
No, I'm saying, like, if you hadn't played the games.
you would enjoy it just as much.
Okay, so if you knew nothing about the games.
You would love it still.
Okay.
And just to say about the game is a nightmare fuel death trap where the developers basically tried to kill the player at every single turn that they took.
So it was a PS1 game.
Yes. Not to be confused with Rayman. There's like horrendous, like, or I'm going to say horrendous, but there's like spike pits and fucking traps and
And
swinging
also,
axes
it's
and
not-
all sorts that you have to go
From,
through.
like, my very faint memories of the game is controls were not as clean as they are
Listen, my
nowadays.
guy.
We like to complain about controls nowadays,
Yeah.
but they were just trash
Yeah.
back in the day.
That's the worst part about the game. On all the reviews that I watched, and people always say, when you get into combat, the best thing you can do is stand and just shoot. In the game, you can do cool shit like flip backwards and jump and all this stuff. You'll die.
Hey, look,
All you have to do is stand and deliver.
I never made it past the first level, so I'll take your word for
because
it.
it's so hard, dude. Like you're fighting, you first thing you fight is a wolf. Those are hard.
Wasn't it a
Then you
tiger?
fight a bear, or like maybe it was a tiger, but like you fight wolves, bears, and then it upgrades to fucking T-Rex. You also fight velociraptors, Then you start fighting mummies and like undead things. There's a flesh centaur. You guys have to see it. It's horrific. It's just a centaur statue that bursts into life. And it's
Is it what you
covered
showed
in
us
red flesh.
earlier?
Yeah, all
Yeah,
those
with like
images.
wings and stuff.
Fuck.
Okay, pretty gross.
But you know what? The best part about those games is it's a platformer. That's what it is. It's the level design. The levels for the time were massive, incredibly for its time, incredibly large. You had like a whole sphinx in one area where you went to Egypt, and they had like the full sphinx rendered, and you could like, it took you like a super long time to just walk around the sphinx. Like it's for its time, PS1, really good. I think I want to go back and play it.
And your scores for what's your score for the game? Because you said the film is 8 out of 10.
It's basically like the first Dark Souls, so I rate it pretty highly.
So 9.5
No,
to
it's
10
like
out of 10.
it's like a.
We've really got to start comparing everything to Dark Souls.
Oh, that's just me.
No,
I do the exact same
I'd say
thing.
it's like an 8.
Okay.
So
it's across the board.
both are great. Yeah.
Okay,
The
sweet.
Yeah.
Do you either of you still have a PlayStation? Like the first
Yeah.
PlayStation? Do you
No.
still have yours?
Yeah.
I have a PS2.
But we can't play Lara Croft on.
We could get emulators.
We
for
could figure it
PS1
out.
Oh,
on,
truly. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. So, sorry, Hushaf, moving
Sure.
on. What's yours?
You guys know that I'm very deep into the Sonic fandom.
Oh, shit, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Sonic was like one
I'll
of
put
those
my book away.
games, or like one of the like first mascot games. I really liked the mascot, mainly because my favorite color is blue, and blue hedgehog going really fast.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Hedgehog.
that's like crack cocaine for a kid.
Yeah.
Did you like Flash?
It's a
Or-
hedgehog on
Mm.
speed.
He was red. I don't like the color red.
There was a red.
The thing
version,
I like when it came to like the larger like DC heroes, I didn't find out about other DC heroes except for Batman and Superman like very late.
Yeah.
Until like the first Justice League cartoon came out on SBC2. Used to be on Fridays
Yeah,
at
Batman.
2:30.
Yeah, Batman's aged up, so you wouldn't have seen him until you were older.
No, I used to watch the Batman. What was it? The Batman Adventures, like the Batman animated, like the first
you're not
one.
talking about the movies with like Michael
No, no,
Keaton.
no.
Those are great movies, guys. Go watch.
The Michael Keaton one is good. Yeah, Jack Nicholson as
Jack
the
Nicholson.
Joker.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sonic.
Sorry, derailed.
Yeah.
you there.
So, originally I was just going to talk about the big controversy with the Sonic movie that everybody knows about, but then I did a little bit of research. I was like, oh, they've been trying to do a Sonic movie for years.
Yeah.
So it started, the first time they tried to do it was back in 1994.
Wait, hold on. Do they want to do a live
A
action?
movie?
No, a
Animated.
live action animated hybrid.
Oh, that's so
That would've been
gross.
horrific.
So I have no evidence to prove this, but a few years prior, Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out and did amazingly well. So in my mind, I think they were looking at what is the biggest animated product that we have.
Wait, sorry. When you say a hybrid, it's like Space Jam hybrid, right?
Space
Yeah.
Jam, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Space Jam, one of the best movies ever made.
Never
Continue.
seen it.
Sorry.
Anyways, so I was thinking they were like what can we use right now? And Sonic was the king of games in the 90s. He was more popular than Mario. Mario and Sonic were like everybody knew who they were, and Pikachu. Throw that in there. But
This is
I think
before Tomb Raider.
yeah, this is the 90s. But Sonic
I'll let it
was
slide.
the king of mascots back in the day. And so around 1994, they start to try and put a Sonic movie into production. I think at the same time, Space Jam was also in development, and they were like, oh, we need to try to fast track this.
Dude, yeah.
So in the process of trying to fast track it, a lot of their programmers were worked to near death, and they had to stop production on the movie.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Serious?
They were like working them like
The CG artists were just
Working them harder than a pal, hey?
Dude, they were
They were
In the
basically
trenches.
Asian kids at a sweatshop.
fuck, dude. Sonic,
So-
man.
So the creators then were like, all right, we're not gonna do this anymore. They pitched it to DreamWorks, and DreamWorks were like, oh, we got our own things going on right now. We have no plans to do this, and so we wouldn't hear about a Sonic movie again
Yeah.
until 2013, where a fan-made Sonic movie came out, which was a hybrid live action and fan made,
Okay.
made by a team called Blue Core or something. I don't know. And it featured two very popular YouTubers from the time,
Who?
the Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay. How long ago was this again? 19.
This was 2013 now.
Okay, we've jumped forward.
And to voice Sonic, they got I always forget his name, Jaleel White,
I don't
who
know who that is.
he played Urkel in Family Matters.
I haven't seen it. Have you
I
seen
know
it?
the name Jaleel White, but I don't know why.
When you see his face, like you'll recognize it. But he was the first person to voice the English dub of Sonic, and they managed to get him for a YouTube movie.
Was it fully free uploaded on YouTube?
Yeah, 13 or 15 minutes. It was a 2013.
Okay, it's a short film.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
2013 movie. Like it's all right. It's like, have you ever seen like Nollywood CGI?
I haven't. No, wait, I have. That's some of my favorite shit.
Is that Nigeria?
Nigeria and Hollywood, like they're like what they do for like CGI.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so funny. It's like better than that, but like it's giving the same energy as that.
Okay.
I know
So-
that Hollywood is Nigeria, and then obviously Bollywood also has their own.
It is
Why is
India.
it Bollywood if it's India?
Yeah.
It's just
Would
I
it-
don't think
wouldn't
there's
it be
actually a
Bollywood?
Bollywood. It's just is it actually called? I don't know. It's just all copying Hollywood.
Okay. Because
But
they have some
why-
pretty crazy CG in their music videos.
They
and stuff.
can, yeah.
Where does the B come from? Bombay? Is that an outdated name? I would feel real bad if it was.
Yeah, let's say it is.
We'll put,
Put it
we'll put a little thing here.
So, anyways, yeah.
Leon was a
In
racist.
post.
This comes out of 2013, and almost at the exact same time, Sony announces, "Hey, we're doing a Sonic movie."
Damn.
And it was like, are you just responding to a YouTube
Yeah, they got
movie and
cold- they
seeing
got
how
scared.
popular it was? So Sony starts developing it, and then I don't know if you guys remember the Sony leaks back in 2013.
No.
I remember that's
Dude.
when we got our first glimpse of what Sonic would look like, and he looked like a crackhead.
No.
No, that was.
No,
Oh,
so-
is this
that was
completely
more
different?
recent. Yeah.
Sony, like the Sony leaks of 2013 were in response to what was the movie that James Franco and when they went to North Korea?
Oh,
The interview.
The interview, yeah,
Great
when
movie. Funny
yeah,
as
basically
hell.
North Korea hacked them, and also revealed like their plans for Spider-Man, which seemed like they just did a bunch of coke before trying to make these Spider-Man plans. They were gonna make Aunt May into a super secret agent. And it was like,
Nah.
what the fuck is
Aunt
going
May-
on?
Put her in some tight pants, and then we want Spider-Man to be swinging around in assless chaps.
Assless chat.
I mean, like, just quick, like, tangent, but you had X-Men. If you wanted to build, like, a bigger universe, X-Men has, like, hundreds of
X-Men,
characters
dude.
besides,
But-
and you're trying to do the Spider-Man, which has, like,
Surely-
maybe...
But at this point in time, when is this?
2013.
2013, right? We've had X-Men for a while.
Yeah.
X-Men is so... It's
I think X-Men Last Stand.
But if
is
you were gonna
out by this
build
point.
not a joint universe type
like,
thing,
but that's what X-Men tried and failed because every single film kind of fucked over the timeline.
no, because every
I
single
would
film
argue-
they wanted to do the fucking Dark Phoenix arc. Just leave it
True.
alone.
I would
you
argue
don't need to do it.
The first two X-Men films, like the original ones, are dope. Those are good films.
X-Men 1, X-Men
Last
2
Stand
is really good.
Is
Lost,
it's okay.
no. The Days of Future Past is really good.
Don't like that one.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
I
widely
don't.
considered the best X-Men film.
Not by me. What do they know? No, I'm joking. Look, man, we have different opinions.
What is an aggregated score of like 100 critics?
I mean, look, it's I haven't seen it in a while. I think it's the one.
It's
It's
Yeah.
the one.
Getting
It's one that has Tyrion.
You have to go back in time. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Peter
prequel
Dinklage. Sorry, not
kind
Tyrion.
of things.
Yeah.
Wait, is Days of Future? Oh, Days of Future Past. Sorry, I was getting confused because you have the two prequel films, right?
Yeah.
So these are the prequel films. So
Yeah.
Days of Future Past.
Okay, and it's where Mystique is causing havoc.
It's
in-
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm up to date now.
Jennifer
Thank you.
Lawrence,
Anyways,
you got it.
yeah, back onto the main timeline
Yes.
now.
Sorry, blue person.
So where was I? Oh yeah, so they were like, okay, we need to focus on these leaks. We're not
shit.
doing the Sonic movie anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna tighten
So
down
then,
the hatches.
who was it? Was it Paramount? Yeah, Paramount picks it up and was like, okay, we're gonna release it in 2019, and so we don't. So they start doing their thing, and then what was it? The first trailer releases around 2018, the day the world stood still,
Is
a
that-
day that lives in infamy, where that crackhead Sonic was revealed to the
I
world.
He
remember
looked
that, dude.
so sick,
He looked-
dude.
He had human teeth.
Yeah.
So basically, the director's thinking was like, we're trying to make him look more human-like, like more realistic, and people were like,
More
That's not-
relatable.
Yeah, no, that's not what we want. That's
not it.
That is really like, who told you this?
Gave him human teeth.
I'm still it's burnt in my head. It's such a
I do remember
Crack
the memes.
image.
The memes.
Because it was
they were
meant for
strong.
children. Like,
no.
Yeah,
it was,
but that
it was
was
meant
a-
for 20-year-olds like me. Bjorn.
no. Get off your high horse, bro.
Nostalgia, dude. It's
Okay, so
full
that
of
drops.
nostalgia.
Yeah, and then it's the big outrage in all the fans, and this is what gave me a lot of good faith with the film.
Yeah.
They listened to the fans' feedback and they're like, okay, you know what? We're gonna push it back. We're gonna redesign Sonic. We're gonna give the fans what they want. So they pushed it back from a 2019 release to a 2020 release, February 14th, Valentine's Day, and they had to spend an extra $5 million in order to redo the Sonic design.
5
I
million.
love the idea. Why
It's a lot.
why on Valentine's Day is like all these children wanting to go on
why,
dates?
because also
I don't
like
know.
Deadpool 2 released on Valentine's Day. I don't know if
Dude,
it's just 'cause-
Deadpool 2 is up there. One of the best Marvel movies ever made.
Yeah, definitely one of the best rated R Marvel films.
Up there
There's
with
not a lot to
Wolverine,
choose
eh?
from. Oh no,
Yeah.
Logan. Logan is
sorry.
probably the best.
That is a gripping film. And it's brutal.
Anyways, back
Yeah,
to Sonic.
sorry.
So yeah, so I go to watch it Valentine's Day. You know, a few weeks later we'd have the COVID lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Is the
living in
Matrix out at this
ignorance bliss.
Is The Matrix out at this point?
No.
What?
Wait, no.
As in
Dude,
2020.
Dude, what?
Shit.
Kieran, where's your?
I thought we were
I
still
thought
in
you-
2013.
No,
Also,
we're in
the
2020.
Matrix
It was
movies-
2007, I know.
The Matrix movie
Ah.
came out in
In the
like
1990s,
dude.
yeah.
Did it? 1997.
1999, then 2001.
Dude, I can't remember.
Anyway.
Shit.
So
Sorry, Shav.
one of the things when I was watching the film in the beginning, there's so Sonic, basically the premise is Sonic has escaped from his world into the human world because the echidnas, Knuckles race are hunting him down because they think he stole the Chaos Emeralds. So he's now in the human
As
world,
it should be.
which is that's the plot of Sonic 2, but the game Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he comes to the human world and he's kind of living in this town, which is called Green Hills Town, which is a great reference to every first Sonic level, which is called Green Hill. So that's like the first thing, like, oh, these like guys really get it. But then also there's a crazy homeless guy who lives in the town, who is trying to convince everybody that there's this weird blue creature running around stealing all this stuff, and he draws a picture of Sonic. I don't know if you know that crayon drawing of Sonic. It's like a very famous meme.
I do.
I'll
know
show you
that.
off it. I'll show you later. But him holding it up and like me seeing that, I laughed so much. I was like, okay, these people really do love Sonic, and they really were trying to give us like a really good Sonic movie. And I really like it's a family movie, and I would give it like a 7 to 7.5. It's a very solid movie that stays very true to the Sonic character. Like, he's very lighthearted. Ben Schwartz, who is John Ralphio, voices
John
Sonic,
Ralphio.
does such a great job as Sonic.
Is the story? It's like loosely based on the Sonic story, right? So it
Kinda. They took like elements from different games, but basically Sonic causes like this huge blackout, and the government wants to capture Sonic, and they employ Dr. Eggman, played by Jim Carrey, who you can see in the movies just having the time of his life in this. You can see like they told him like, just do whatever, because he even talks about
bro.
he talks about in interviews like they just gave me like carte blanche to do whatever I want, and you can tell like in his acting he's having like the time of his life. He was a really great Robotnik, Dr. Eggman. So it's basically like, following Dr. Eggman trying to capture Sonic and get his rings, because in the movies they treat the rings, usually in the games they treat the rings like hit points, so as long as you have one you can't die. But here Sonic can use his rings to like go to different worlds, and so Dr. Eggman wants that also, so he's like, mine. And so it's basically... So that's basically the plot. Dr. Eggman trying to capture Sonic, and Sonic's like story is also about kind of like a found family, because he makes friends with a cop in the town, and they learn to start trusting each other, and he becomes part of their family. So found family, very wholesome. Chungus.
Family.
You as a fan of Sonic, right? How was the film for you?
Really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I know they were making it for kids. It wasn't going to be like a gritty retelling, but they stayed true to the Sonic character, his traits, put enough references into like other games and stuff to keep me happy. So I was very happy with it.
Damn.
Wow. Have you played a Sonic game since then?
So
So when did this come out? 2019?
2020.
Okay.
The Lost.
When did the second one come out? 2022? 2023?
22, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic 2. Yeah.
And do you feel like it was a good sequel or meh?
It's more or less the same. Like, it's nice because a lot of it centers around Tails and Sonic and their like relation to one another, which
So
is...
it's just another like solid family movie. So it's not
Yeah.
going to be a 9 out of 10, but it's a 7.
Yeah, it's like-
7.5.
They took the exact same thing, basically did it again, more or less.
Okay.
But I'm excited for 3 because it's gonna have Shadow.
Who's
Shadow the
who?
Hedgehog.
Isn't he the bad
Is
guy?
he the evil hedgehog?
He's an anti-hero.
Oh wait, Knuckles is the bad guy.
Knuckles is tricked because he thinks Sonic is bad, but Knuckles is a good dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
He's a good dude.
Very cool. So then I guess it's my turn, huh?
Yee.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
You gonna stop me right there?
We're done.
What's
Go for it.
So my film that I'm bringing to the table is Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
Probably
these...
up there with one of the worst adaptations.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay. So one of the big things. Let me summarize the film first.
Okay.
So it has Michael Fassbender as
Love
Great
him.
actor.
playing. I don't know who he's playing as. It's like Callum or something. It is a standalone story set during the Spanish Inquisition, and like with all the Assassin's Creeds, you have a modern day person whose ancestor is like part of some sort of group, and in this world you can like use technology to go relive the memories of your ancestor. And there's groups in the modern day that are trying to use that information to access stuff.
Which is very close to the games. The original
Yeah,
games.
so it's literally it
the same
is how
premise.
this like storyline of pretty much every single game goes, but it's like it tanked. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 18%.
Sheesh.
Like on Metacritic, I think it has like 31 or something. I can't remember exactly. Point being, it is a very badly rated film, but it's so unwarranted. I think it got review bombed, but like, basic story is this guy, a group called Abstergo Industries, is trying to use his memories to have access to some ancient artifact. In the world of Assassin's Creed games, there's an ancient battle between the Templars and the Assassins, because at some point in the history of our universe, apparently there was like, it's a retelling of Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
But it's like they live in a super society, and you have these things called the Apples of Eden, which you can use to control humanity. But then that civilization collapsed, and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years later, the history that we know cropped up.
Yeah.
So in that part, they still pretty true to the games.
Yeah. But so I'm kind of just giving a bit of context for like all the games,
Oh, okay.
and that's the point of the Assassin's Creed games. 90% of the time, you play as an assassin who is trying to keep the apples out of the hands of the Templars, who just want to use it to control humanity. That's literally the plot of every single game, and it's just people reliving the memories of their ancestors, trying to like either find where the apple is to keep it out of Templar hands, or Templars using that information to try and find the apple to
And their
control
ancestors
humans.
are always a badass assassin fighter.
Generally, yeah. So for the film, it's Michael Fassbender's character, Callum. His ancestor, Aguilar, was alive during the time of the Spanish Inquisition. But now, think about all this I've told you about, like, the wars and stuff. They just try and cram that as exposition into the film. Like, the part where the film falls flat and is just so frustrating is they're trying to give so much context built over, like, in even just the first Assassin's Creed game, it's like 20 hours. You have 20 hours to explain this conflict, and even then they don't do all of it.
Yeah.
But they try and cram that into, like, a film whose runtime is 2 hours. They try and do all that exposition on top of telling, like, a completely new story. So, and it felt like they were
Needed,
trying...
like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, literally. So if you had, like, an Assassin's Creed cinematic universe, might have worked. Or, like, a series.
Which I'm still hoping they do.
Dude, we've been burnt. But the
We
point
have
being,
been.
the film's, like, maybe a 6.5 or a 6. But people hated it because the people that made it... It's tough to tell whether they made it for people that have played the games or whether they made it for a new audience.
Okay.
But I think they tried to do both and failed at both. Which is just so frustrating as someone who has played like 60 to 70% of the Assassin's Creed games.
Was the action cool?
Dude, the fighting, the
Combats and
choreography is unreal. It's so good. And they got the feel of ancient or like Renaissance medieval Spain very good.
Is there enough parkour?
Dude.
Now we're getting
dude.
into it here.
Oh,
Parkour time.
in the film, like, I don't understand why they did this, but maybe 10% of the film is in the past and 90% is in the present day.
What?
Whereas in the games, 90% of them are
Why
done
would they
in the
do that?
past.
What
I
they're
don't
doing,
know.
like-
I don't
Is
know.
it was the present day story? Is it set in like future or like present day? Because like in the games, it's set in the future. From...
Well, like, not distant future. It's like 10... I think the first game was set in like 2025 or something. So...
which at the time it was 2008.
Yeah, somewhere there. But so it is near future. It's not far future.
Okay.
But you also don't see a crazy amount of the present day. You're not seeing a lot of like city scenes.
So what's the 90% are you seeing then?
You're seeing Michael Fassbender's character in an. So the film starts with him as an inmate being sentenced to death, right? He dies via injection, and then wakes up, and he's in an Abstergo Industries compound.
Okay.
For context, Abstergo Industries is just a modern day, multinational corporation
It's
whose
Illuminati.
backers are the
Templars.
Templars. And so they're trying to use his memories to find out where the Apple of Eden was at this
The
point in
apple
time.
of knowledge.
Yeah, literally. So a lot of the film is spent inside this facility. And it's just the one thing they did really well is in the games when they go into the past, right?
Yeah.
It's called the Animus. People get plugged into the Animus, and normally they just have like an injection and then lie down, which is not great TV.
well-
it's not good TV. But
Imagine that.
What they did, and when someone goes into the past and starts reliving memories, when they come back to their actual body, they it's called a bleeding effect, where they've spent time in another person's like body essentially, and they've picked up like skills and abilities of their ancestor. So you have these people with assassin skills in the modern day, which is quite cool. But remember, in the games they're just like lying down and not doing anything.
Yeah.
How they fix it in the film is by having this cool like machine thing that someone gets strapped into, and then like
And then moves around.
Yeah, it's almost like having a VR, like a really advanced VR.
Yeah, it's like a
thing.
little hamster ball they get put in, right? And then they have the
No.
thing attached
Just-
around their
well,
waist.
What were
Kind
they
of, yeah.
thinking though? Were they like, we're gonna do it different? We're gonna focus on the
Do you know-
modern day. It's like,
Do you know who the directors was? Or...
I can't remember the names, but I know the film experienced a lot of rewrites.
that usually happens.
Which is worrying.
yeah, that's never a good
That's
thing.
never a good sign,
No.
because it means like things are taken out, and then there were delays. Like Michael Fassbender was announced as the lead, I think in 2011,
Yeah.
which was I think 5 years before the film came out. It was before they even had a script.
5 years.
So they announced him as the lead of a film that hadn't been written yet, which is like
That's
you got
crazy.
your star power before
Yeah.
you got your actual story.
Because they were like, we have to get on it now. We
Yeah,
have to ride the wave.
it's kind of what Hushop was saying about Sonic as well. Like it kind of just was a bit of.
What movie was Fassbender coming out of that they wanted to snatch him up?
I have no idea. Remember, like he was in the X-Men films, the prequels.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm trying to think, was it Prometheus also? Because he was really good in Prometheus.
Regardless.
yeah, that's a sick film.
So like the film just. As a video game movie, it is one of the examples of it just being done poorly. Even though you had like good writers, the choreography for fighting was really good. They got like the CG is surprisingly really really good, and they got the right feel for the past. The director, I can't remember what else he directed, but was a pretty solid director. And besides Michael Fassbender, who they have, they had Jeremy Irons, Brendan Gleeson, and Marion
nice.
Cotillard.
So they
And
had
it's-
like a pretty stacked
Yeah,
cast.
like they had everything, and the Assassin's Creed universe is so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of dipped in the last couple of years, but it is a cool idea, and there is so much source material that you could have worked on, but they just kind of flopped it. I
Yeah.
don't understand why it went so poorly.
Is the Spanish Inquisition even a big part of the games?
It's not in any part of the games.
Because I know in Assassin's Creed 1, you're in ancient past.
Well, and you're in the modern day Middle
yeah,
East.
you're playing Altair out there, jumping
yeah.
off towers and doing
Mhm.
cool stuff.
Then it goes to Renaissance Italy
Yeah.
with Ezio.
Who's the coolest of all the
Mhm.
assassins?
It's also we got the most time with them. That was
Yeah.
that was the golden era for Assassin's Creed.
That was good.
Was 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and then we went to 3.
I remember.
No,
dude,
there was a third one. There were 3
Yeah.
expansions for him, weren't there?
That's what I'm saying. 2, Brotherhood, Revelations. That's 3.
Okay, I need to double check this, but yeah. And
Yeah,
then
I
we
don't- I
went
must
to
see
what's it?
Early America.
The colonization of America
Yeah.
with Connor.
And then it goes to Egypt, no? Or Greece? and Egypt?
no.
No, then it was
no.
Black Flag.
Oh, pirates.
And you had Syndicate, which
Syndicate,
is
was that London?
it was Revolution in France. Was it French Revolution?
Must have been.
I think so.
Wasn't there one in London?
No, actually, no. It might be Syndicate. Sorry, it must have been Revolution.
Because I think it's the siblings who are in France.
Oh yeah, it's so Industrial Revolution in England
England.
is Syndicate, and then it goes to
Unity, was it?
Unity, where they try to do multiplayer. That was kind of mid, And then they made the jump to ancient Greece with Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
time.
Sorry, what came first? Came the ancient Egypt Origins.
Mirage.
No.
It's one of those
Oh, that's
two
but
games
Mirage
first.
is one of those like side games. That's not super massive.
Oh, was that not?
But the thing is, like, I've heard
Um,
really good things about the latest.
So where it's gone
they're just
more
very
RP
different.
The big issue that I have with the modern games is that they're not Assassin's Creed anymore. They are just how do you say this? Like, they're just RPGs with Assassin's Creed mechanics.
Yeah, and story like that.
Yeah, it's they kind of should have dropped
It's
Assassin's
You know what
Creed.
I
It's-
like?
it's kind of like, you know, a lot of like horror franchises where we're just like, you know, you just gotta let it go at this point.
Yeah,
Go do
I
something
like that they
else.
switched it up. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they had the balls to just be like, let's just do a completely different thing. Like,
But the
RPG.
problem is they try to bank on it still being Assassin's Creed, which
True.
is they let go,
Yeah.
but not actually.
But would you have preferred it then if they just kept making the same?
No. I wanted
Yeah,
like
okay.
it's the like a show that has 11 seasons. You don't need 11
There you go.
seasons. You
What
should
you
have
said,
stopped.
is let it go.
Yeah, you should have stopped around 6.
If they really want to do something different, I'd say you go into the future, like 100 years,
Yeah.
do like Assassin's Creed cyberpunk type thing. That could be really cool. So many gadgets and stuff you could play
That could be
around
cool.
with. If you still want to do Assassin's Creed, I think Ubisoft, I don't know how you want to pronounce it.
Or you do a reverse. The ancient people come to the modern time. And then they're like,
but
where am I?
But that doesn't
Why are
work.
they-
Yeah,
that
that's-
doesn't
yeah.
work.
That would
in
be
the
cool.
What is
universe.
your- what is your
It's really cool,
gameplay?
though. No, the gameplay is just like, it's just a comedy game. No,
So
I'm
it's not.
joking.
No,
Like, you
Ubisoft-
have to learn how to shoot a gun, but you're from the ancient Egyptian times. You know?
Nah,
Yeah.
Ubisoft need to let it go. Invent something new. Did they do Watch Dogs? Was that Ubisoft?
I think so.
Was it, what else have they done lately besides Assassin's Creed?
There's a from Ubisoft Montreal. There's a game called Grow Home. It's pretty much an indie game. It's really fun. You play as a little
Grow
robot
Home.
that like it's called a star plant, and essentially you help this plant grow back up to your spaceship.
Oh,
It's very cute, lovely game.
it sounds like a Wally type something.
Mhm. But like if we were to rate, so I love Assassin's Creed up until a certain point. T's and C's.
Me
the
too.
the
Where was
the
the drop?
film-
Where's the drop off for you? What was the last game you played?
What was just before Origins?
Valhalla was after that.
Yeah,
Was it Unity?
I think so. I've played everything up until the like Origin.
Okay.
But if I at the film, the Assassin's Creed film as a standalone, I would put as like maybe. It's so confusing if you don't know anything about the films.
Can you
I would-
just rate it? How would you?
Now, what do
for
you think? Is it a 5?
I think it's like it's a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
As a fan of Assassin's Creed, just for the fight scenes, I give it like a 6.5 or 7.
Okay.
But it's the story is useless. Like it's not well done.
They flopped it.
Yeah.
They had 5 years.
Which is
they
just so
flopped it.
frustrating. And if you go on Wikipedia, like most, I think fans of games purposefully bomb video game movies. But
Yeah.
so like all of them have bad ratings, but it's also for the most part warranted. A lot of times it does feel like a cash grab, or it
Yeah.
feels like they're trying to just bank on
They're
a
trying to
major
just
IP.
get it out while the game is still big, and then
Yeah.
But correct me wrong. Isn't Netflix doing some new Assassin's Creed series or
They announced
movie?
that like 5 or 6
I think a
years
series
ago.
would be cool.
They've if it's been in development for this long, let's hope it's good. But I think
a
back
series would work better than films.
It would 100%, but they also need to spend most of the time in the past.
They could
because that's the
do
most
they
fun
could do
part.
like anthology. Every season's a different era in history.
Yeah. But then the question is, because the Assassin's Creed film was an entirely new story. It wasn't based on any of the games.
Yeah, but like, do you want to see Ezio being brought to the big screen? Because it's
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
They had the right idea doing their own character. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so that there was a good starting point, but they just didn't. They didn't do it properly. They didn't do it justice.
Yeah.
They should have spent more time in the past, and they should have not tried to, like you said, they should have done a series instead of a film, because there's just too much world and lore that needs to get, like, you need to understand it.
Also,
to
a series
get
would
involved.
lend itself better because you're gonna want sets. You're gonna want like practical
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
say
gonna-
you
that's
say
gonna-
that, but
you're gonna need
so
time.
many TV series now they do the big blue room.
I hate it.
Not many do the actual practical
Yeah.
sets.
Practical is like, whenever I look back at old movies and I'm like, what are the new movies missing? It's the
Practical,
practical.
yeah.
But
elements.
it's so much time and money to make
It
that,
is,
so
it
they
is.
just like
Like Lord
let's
of the
blue
Rings
room.
is like so much of it is practical.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like really
Like-
cool like miniature sets that they built so that people can
Yeah.
like with weird camera angles.
Yeah,
That's
the-
miniatures.
There's also people I've seen interviews of
Also-
the people who make the props, like how long it took them to make the armor for the orcs and all of that.
It took. They had Weta working like for
oh,
years.
dude, where to
years and
workshop?
years.
Unreal.
They made
Um,
like fully. They made armor, weapons, swords.
And then the
prosthetics.
actors that get put in actual armor actually act like they're
Yeah.
struggling. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's,
And they had to get like what do they call it? Extras, like thousands of them for the
Mm.
battle scenes. Because
exactly.
like a lot of it is CG in those battle scenes, but like there's probably like a good 100. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but there's probably like 1,000 people there, like being shot, like fighting.
I don't think it would
It's-
have been 1,000 people.
Okay, maybe not 1,000, but like
But like a lot.
a lot more
But
than a modern day
bunch
movie
of
would.
people. But yeah, sorry guys, I do have to dart off. So I think
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
we're just
call
quickly
it-
that was cool.
what were our final ratings for our movies?
You go first.
If you went with Assassin's Creed,
6 at a push.
Okay.
out of 10.
Pushing the 6.
5.5. 5.5 out of 10.
Alright, 5.5.
I said 8. 8 out of 10 for Tomb Raider.
I
Go
think-
watch it.
7.85 for Sonic, the first one. Yeah.
7.5.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. I actually really enjoyed learning about you guys' like history with
It's
the
fun.
phones and stuff.
It is fun.
But yeah, guys, my name's Bjorn.
I'm Kieran.
I'm Shav.
Thank you for joining us and me and all of this, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Auf
Gotta go fast.
Wiedersehen.